Hey all, let's talk a little bit about functions. Particularly for our co-reccing class, we just want to cover the basics of functions. Understand that function is a really fancy name for relationship and also equation. So when we say like, let's look at this function, we're talking about let's look at this equation. Okay, so very formally, a function is this relationship between two or more variables, but we're going to stick with two for our course, and for which each input variable is associated with one and only one output variable. I am going to jump down to our equation and our tables. So I'm going to let you find and explore the idea of a function and find a description that you like. So for us, a function, if we're talking about looking at it in equation form, when we input one number, we get one number out. So if I choose to input the value of 2 for t, okay, then I would have 750 plus 25 times 2, which is 750 plus 50, which is 800. Okay, so I input one value of 2 and I got out one value of 800. This is a function. You can try it again with this quadratic function. Choose any single value for t, plug it in, and you'll see that you get a single value out. Okay, those are functions. In this table, in these two different tables, one of these is a function and one of them is not a function. So this one on the left, each input x has one output assigned to it. -1 has a single output, 0 has a single output of 2, 1 has a single output of 4, 2 has a single output of 8. However, over on the right side, this table is not a function because the single input of 1 gives us both an output of 1 and an output of 4. This is not a function. Okay? I'm going to scroll down. Graphically, we use something that's called the vertical line test to check for a function. Vertical line, straight up and down. Can I draw a vertical line anywhere on the graph and have it only cross in one place? For this graph on the left, yes. So the graph on the left is a function. For this graph on the right, which is a graph of a circle, if I draw a vertical line, it crosses in 1, 2 spots. And so for the circle, everywhere I draw a vertical line, it crosses in 2 spots. So everywhere it's not a function. There are some graphs where it's maybe looks like an S, and then some places where you draw the vertical line, it will cross more than once. And some places where you draw a vertical line, it will cross only once. This is still not a function. All right. Okay. So now that we kind of have the basic tools for identifying a function, what's really important for us is understanding function notation. So function notation is a formal notation. We see it here rewritten in function notation as, and then I'll read this out not in notation. I'll just read it out symbolically, where it's f parenthesis t close parenthesis equals -16 t squared plus 20t plus 7. Okay, so that is symbolically how we would read it, but using function notation, we would read this as the function f of t is equal to -16t squared plus 20t plus 7. So this t inside the parentheses is just telling us what variable our function is dependent on. And this f is it's like a label that we're giving our function. Okay. So The parentheses does not mean we are multiplying. If we choose to rewrite these in function notation, this first one, c equals 750 plus 25t, this might look like c parenthesis t close parenthesis. C of t equals 750 plus 25t. Writing the second one in function notation, y equals negative 8.3x plus 14. This might look like y of x equals negative 8.3x plus 14. You do not have to keep, and not everyone keeps, this variable at the beginning. In fact, often when we choose to function notation, the first label that we choose is f. And so most traditionally, you would see this not written as a y of x, but you would see this written as f of x equals negative 8.3x plus 14. I'll leave this third one, r equals square root z squared plus 7. I'll leave that one for you to rewrite in function notation. So now that we understand how to write it in function notation, and maybe we have figured out how to say function notation, f of x, c of t, y of x, let's make sure we know how to use function notation. And so we use function notation as a way to evaluate. It's a shorthand evaluation. So if someone says find f parenthesis 2 parenthesis, they're asking find f of 2. Or evaluate when the variable is 2. And so we take that 2 and we replace all of our variables with 2. All right, and then our answer is f of 2 equals negative 17. Okay, so let's evaluate. I'm just going to evaluate this one on the left. C of t equals 750 plus 25t for t equals 10. So we would write that as c parenthesis 10 close parenthesis is equal to 750 plus 25 times 10. So c of 10 is equal to 750 plus 250. C of 10 equals 1,000. Okay. That's the intro that we needed for functions and function notation. If you have questions, please message me. If there are specific homework questions you need more help with, please reach out, and I'll see you in the next video.